Hello, welcome to today's practice. Hope you're well. And before we begin, usual recommendation that if anything doesn't feel right and you need to take, don't do it or take whatever modification is appropriate. So today we're going to start. We're going to be needing either blocks or blanket, or a blanket and a block. I'll show you, and then maybe you can pause the video and get what you need to start. So if you're gonna be using a blanket, you start with a blanket which is in this shape, a long rectangle, and you're gonna fold it up this way, and you decide how thick the blanket is going to be. And this is going to go across here on the mat, and we're going to have a block available at the end here, and we're going to rest our meat back, so basically behind the hearth, below the shoulder blades. We're going to rest there, and the head is going to rest on the block. And as an alternative, you can use the block instead of the blanket. So it's going to be a sturdier sensation, and so you know, be placing the block like, so you get the blanket like that. So you decide if you prefer the blanket or the block. And with the blanket you can also decide how thick it's going to be, because you don't need to roll it up all the way depending on the type of blanket that you have. So it depends on how much of an opening in the chest you want. And if you have a lot of opening, you can actually do both. You can place the blanket over the block as well, and then just lay down like this. In that case, you'll probably need a block, maybe on a higher standing. So we are where we are, and we just lay down for a few breaths. Feeling the opening of the chest, but at the same time we're relaxing the rest of the body. Feeling the shoulders dropping down towards the floor. Relaxing the lower back if you're holding any tension there. Hips. So just allow for the body to let go in this opening of the chest. Using the breath to relax the parts of the body where we might be holding any tension. And this is a great way of regaining that opening of the chest, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting at a desk with the shoulders hunching down. And then if your head is on the block, you can take one hand, lift the head, with the other hand put the block aside, and then just interlace the hands and let the head drop a little closer to the floor. If it reaches comfortably to the floor, you can let go of the hands, you can do that. Otherwise, keep supporting the head. And maybe you find a little bit more opening in the chest, and feel also the shoulders lengthening a little bit. The important thing is that you're not contracting or tensing anywhere in the body. So if you feel that resettling, just use the exhale to relax. A couple of more breaths here. Maybe you find that with each breath, the chest, the body opens up a little bit more, you're lengthening more the front. And then if you have the hands supporting your head, actually you're going to come out of this, you're taking the head back towards the chin towards the chest, and then you can just sit up or roll to one side to come out, whatever works for you. And then put the box and the blanket, whatever you're using, on the side. We'll come back to that in a second. And come up into all four, making sure that the shoulders are perpendicular over the wrists and the hips over the knees. And we're going to focus on the movement of the chest here. So with the exhale, we're going to drop the chest between the shoulders, bringing the shoulder blades together as if you're creating a canyon or a valley between the shoulder blades. And then with an inhale, the chest comes back up. And then exhale, it goes back down. And then inhale, we come back up. So even though it may be looking like I'm moving the shoulders, in reality it's just the trunk, the chest that is moving up and down. And do this a couple of more times at your own pace. And then the next time you're into all four, take the hands a couple of inches ahead of the shoulders, tuck the toes, bend the elbows, taking the elbows in towards the midline, so you're not bending like this, they're coming in. And then tuck the toes, lift the knees, inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale here to soften the elbows and the knees, inhale back into the dog. Exhale, soften, inhale, lengthen. And then as you soften, you come forward, bending the elbows and the knees. So you come, so you're somewhere centered between the feet and the hands. And then with an inhale, lengthen into your plank. Spend a couple of breaths here in the plank, pushing the heels back, collarbone towards the front, and then start bending the knees, taking them towards the midline again. And we're going to come down all the way to the floor. If you need to drop the knees, you can do that. Otherwise, slowly you come down to the floor. And then extend the toes, and then take the hands back, hands touching the floor. And then with an inhale, we're going to roll up into our locust. So you're pushing the top of the feet into the floor, so you're lifting the knees and a little bit the thighs as well. And we're lifting up the upper back. The gaze stays down, so it's the upper back and the mid back that are engaged. And use the breath. Exhale, you soften. Inhale, come up. So exhale, inhale, and even if you're just holding it up, use micro movements, just going back and forth. And then exhale, release down. Hands by the shoulders, we tuck the toes. And then lift the tail starts coming up. And then lift the knees, inhale, downward facing dog. Lengthening to the dog. And then again, we soften, come forward, and then inhale, plank. And then start bending the elbows. And again, if you need to drop the knees down, you can drop the knees down. Otherwise, come down as slow as you can. And untuck the toes. Hands down by your side. Inhale, roll up the chest, the shoulders. So with an inhale, opening. And focus on opening the front of the chest. And exhale, you relax a little. And then exhale, soften, hands by your shoulders. Tuck the toes. Push the hips up. Lift the knees. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then exhale, we come down on our knees. Sit back, and we go back to the block or blankets, or blanket. And this time, we're going to put them down on the long side. So, if it's a block, it's going to be, this way. So first it was this way, horizontal, now it's going to be vertical. If it's a blanket, same thing. It goes the vertical side. And you're going to have a block behind. And make sure that the block behind that is supporting you is going to be higher than what is going to be under your shoulders. And this is going to be in the upper back and mid back. So it's not touching the vertical, the cervical spine or the lumbar. And we just release down. So we let go of the shoulders. The lower back is relaxed. You should feel almost like the side of the waist and the ribs cascading down towards the floor. Just feel again the chest opening. And then we're going to do the same thing here. So with one hand we're going to support the head. We're going to move the block out to one side. We're start letting go the head towards the floor. And if you comfortably reach the floor, you can let go of your hands. You can do that. Otherwise, keep supporting the head with your hands. So try not to arch the neck. And then start taking the head towards the chin. And then again, either come up, sitting up, or roll to one side and then come up seated. And put the blocks away. And come up into all four again. So you can cross your feet, roll over and come into all four. And we're going to do again what we did earlier. So start with the shoulders perpendicular over the wrist, the hips over the knees. In the exhale, just drop the chest down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So it's just the chest that is moving. The shoulders are still. And you're just trying to focus the movement between the shoulder blades. And then take the hands a couple of inches ahead of the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the knees, bring the elbows in, inhale, downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, we come forward, inhale, lengthen into plank. And then as you soften, we come down to the floor as slow as you can. And then this time, let's keep the hands by the ribs. And then with an inhale, roll up the chest, the gaze stays down, but the hands are barely touching the floor. So I'm not pushing into the floor to lift up. It's similar to what I was doing earlier, except that the hands are by the ribs. The gaze is down, so I have a long neck. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen here. Use the inhale to find more space. Exhale, release down. And then just release all the way down. Tuck the toes. Push the hips up. Come up, lift the knees. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then bend the knees, look forward. Walk to the front of the mat. We arrive low. And we release down for a couple of breaths. Keep the knees very soft. So lengthening the spine, just dropping the head, the chest towards the floor, the shoulders down. And then bend the knees a lot as we roll up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release down. Bring the hands in prayer pose. Close your eyes for a second before we start moving. And just think about where the blocks were at the beginning of class, of the practice rather. And keep that memory of those blocks there throughout the practice, blocks or blanket. Because that's where a lot of our emphasis is going to be today, on that opening of the chest, of the upper body. And then exhale, open your eyes, release the arms down. So we're going to start. Well, actually start first with a normal sun salutation. So soft, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, all the way down. Hands in front of the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, we soften, step the left foot back. Inhale, lengthen here into the low lunge. Left heel is pushing back. Crown of the head towards the front, very long. And then plant the hands, soften everything as you step the right foot back. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, you soften, knees to the floor, the chest slides all the way down, untuck the toes, and then tuck the tail, lift the belly, inhale, roll up into your cobra, or you can be down in low cobra. And then the head rolls first down,
roll back to the floor, tuck the toes, lift the hips, lifting up, lift the knees, and just prepare first, so elbows and knees soft, and then inhale, lengthen into downward facing dog. And then as we soften, we step the left foot to the front, hips are back, inhale, lengthen here. And then exhale, soften back, the right foot comes to the front. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, soften the knees a lot. Roll up. Inhale, exhale. And then again, leading with the other leg. Inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, we soften, we step with the right foot back. Inhale, lengthen here. Find the hands, soften. Left foot steps back. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, soften, come all the way down to the floor. And then lift the tail, tuck the tail, lift the belly. Inhale, roll up. Head is last thing that comes up. Cobra. Release the head. Roll back down. Tuck the toes and then come up. Into a 4. Lift the knees. Inhale, downward facing. And then as we soften, the right foot comes to the front. Right with the hips back. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, soften, the left foot comes to the front. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, soften, we roll up. Inhale, exhale. And then, starting Tadasana, we're going to do a slight variation now. So, bend the knees and take the tail between the legs. And I'm relaxing my shoulders. I'm going to take the hands over in front of my shoulders or my chest. Make sure the weight is equally distributed on your feet between the heels and the toes. So you're not feeling that you're too far back or forward, but you feel nicely planted. And then with an inhale, we're just going to roll up and open the chest a little bit towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, soften but curve back down. So you're bending the knees a lot. And then find the heels. Inhale, lengthen down. Uttanasana. Exhale, soften, hands in front of the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. And then exhale, soften, step the left foot back, the left knee to the floor. And then inhale, we roll up. Opening the chest. Exhale, down. Step the right foot back. Inhale. Dog, and then exhale, soften, we come down all the way to the floor, and then inhale, roll up, cobra, exhale, down, tuck the toes, lift the belly, push back, inhale, dog. And then from here, we're going to step the left foot forward, drop the right knee to the floor, come back and roll up. So focus on lengthening and opening the front of the chest. The sternum is what lengthening going towards the ceiling. And then exhale, we soften. Find the hands, lift the right foot meets the left. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, inhale, roll up. Exhale. And then again, leading with the other leg. So start again, sorry. We start the same way we started. So bend the knees, tail tucked in between the legs. Make sure the weight is evenly distributed on the feet, and then inhale, open up the chest, curving. It's a little bit of a back bend, but we're not going all the way. Exhale, bend the knees a lot, roll down. Find the heels or ankles. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, soften, hands in front of the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. Then as we soften, the right foot steps back, the right knee to the floor, hips back, and then we start coming up, and then forward, Anjaneyasana, no lunge, the right knee down. Couple of breaths here. Exhale, we soften, hands to the front, lift the right knee, step the left foot back. Inhale, dog. Exhale, soften, come down. And then tail tucked in, lift the belly. Inhale, roll up, cobra. Exhale, down. Tuck the toes, push back. Inhale, dog. And then as we soften, we step the right foot to the front. We drop the left knee down. Come back and up. Again, opening the chest, all this front superficial line of the body. Exhale, we soften. Hands down, lift the left knee, step to the front. Inhale, lengthen. Soften, roll up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Hands in prayer pose, close your eyes. So let those first few sun salutations sink in. And then open your eyes, release the arms down. Want to move forward. So with an inhale, expand up, and then exhale, soften. Let's find chair pose with the arms up. So dropping the tail down, waking up the quadriceps. And a couple of breaths here. And then exhale, we roll down, find the heels again. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, soften, hands in front of the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. And then exhale, soften, and either step back into downward facing dog or hop into the half dog. And then we're going to come all the way down to the floor. And then this time we're going to bend the knees, reach back with our hands, find the ankles, and then with an inhale we're going to push first the feet towards the floor, towards the ceiling, and then inhale, lift the chest and the legs off the floor. And then exhale, release down, plant the hands, tuck the toes, come up, inhale, downward facing dog. And then step the right foot between the hands. And then press into the right foot to come up. So we're centered, the right knee is behind the right ankle, hands to the shoulders. Inhale, crescent lunge or simplified warrior one, modified warrior. Spend a couple of breaths here. So focus on lengthening the upper body when we come in and opening the front of the body rather than back bending. So use the exhale to relax out, inhale in. The left leg is pushing firmly back, so we're opening the hip flexors, the psoas, everything that is there. And then exhale down, hands frame the front foot. We kick the right leg all the way back and up into three-legged dog. And then we come down, and we flip over into upward facing. Exhale, soften back. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then soften, we step the left foot between the hands. And again, press into the left foot to come up. Hands in front of the shoulders. Inhale. Warrior one. Modified warrior one. And again, use the exhale to relax out. Inhale. Go back in. So we're bending deeply into the front knee. Just another breath here. And then exhale, we soften out. Hands down. Left foot all the way back and up. And then we slide down, bending the elbows, untuck the toes, inhale, roll up into upward facing. Exhale, we roll back, inhale, dog. Spend a couple of breaths here into the dog. So with your exhale, you soften the elbows and the knees. With the inhale, we lengthen the hips back. And then exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and either step or hop to the front. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, soften, roll up. Inhale, exhale. And again, we're going to go to another one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chair pose. Exhale, down, find the heels. Inhale, lengthen, Uttanasana. Exhale, soften, hands in front of the feet, lengthen forward. Exhale, soften, step or hop back into downward facing. And then we come down, all the way down to the floor again. Bend the knees, reach back. You can do it also, if that doesn't work for you, you can be in cobra upward facing. I didn't mention this when we did it the first time. And then first with an inhale, the feet go towards the ceiling. And then we lift the chest and the thighs. So always the pelvis, maybe the bottom side part of the belly are in contact with the floor. Exhale down. Find the hands. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Starting to go back, then lift the knees. Inhale, dog. And then as we soften, we step the right foot between the hands. And again, we come up, pushing to the floor with the right foot. And then this time we're going to interlace the hands behind our back. And then again, with an inhale, we're going to come into warrior one. Exhale. Inhale. Rebellion, crescent lunge. So the hands are going down. I'm opening the chest. Spend a couple of breaths here. And bending deeply into the front knee. Make sure that the right knee doesn't go past the right ankle. The left leg is firmly engaged. So the left heel is pushing back. And exhale, we soften, hands down. The right foot is going to go all the way back and up. And then you slide down, untuck the floor, inhale up. Exhale back, inhale downward facing dog. And then as you soften, the left foot comes to the front. And then push into the left foot to come up. Interlace the hands, change the interlace. Inhale, crescent lunge on this side. Exhale, soften. Inhale. So find your own breath. And again, every time you exhale to relax, as the entire body is relaxing. And every time you inhale to lengthen, it's the entire body that is lengthening. Yes, there may be some parts of the body that are working harder or lengthening more, but my focus is on everything. I'm aware of the entire body, of the movement of the entire body. Exhale out, hands down, left foot back and up. And then exhale, soften down, inhale, roll up. Exhale, back, inhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here in the dog. So make sure all 10 fingers are firmly pressing into the floor, into the mat. Hips are pushing back and up. And again, use the breath always to release and lengthen. And even if you're holding it, you always have micro movements. And then as we soften, we're going to come to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften, roll up. Inhale, exhale. Bring the hands in prayer pose and close your eyes. Again, let's allow for the body to absorb the practice, the opening. And also let's allow for the breath to come back to its normal pace. Now we open the eyes and release the arms down. So we're going to do a sequence, and I guess I'm going to do it from this side so you can see. Yeah, okay, so we'll start on this side. So it doesn't matter where you are, it's just for me so you can see it. So we're going to start again in the easy Tadasana, where we always start in Anukalana, with the hips with the feet, hips width distance apart, the knees are soft. And then inhale, I lengthen here. Exhale, I soften and I step the left foot back. And I'm going to come back up into crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Spend just a couple of breaths here. We've been here already. And then as we soften, I'm going to put the weight on the right foot. I'm going to come up, and either we're going to hold the knee with the left hand, the left knee with the left hand, right hand starts at the right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen up. focusing on lengthening, exhale, lengthening, or I can find a big toe on the left foot, and I inhale, always starting with the right hand here, my knees soft to begin with, I inhale and lengthen into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, and exhale, inhale. So wherever I am, you soften, you lengthen. Just a couple of breaths. And again, focusing on lengthening the body towards the ceiling. And then as we soften everything, you're going to take the left ankle with the left hand behind. My right knee is soft. We're going to come into dancer from here. So I'm going to lengthen and open into my dancer. Exhale, soften, inhale, length. Just use the breath to relax and open. Another breath. And then as you soften, the left foot steps all the way back. And we're going to go back into the lunge. And then soften again. And this left knee is going to go down to the outside of the right foot. I want to sit down. And I want to twist to the right side. I want to twist. And if this knee is bothering me, I can extend the right leg out. So you decide where you want to be. And again, inhale. You can take the left elbow outside of the right knee, of course. And then use the breath again to inhale, twist and lengthen, exhale, relax. And again, focus the twist on the upper body rather than the lumbar spine, the lower body. And the head can turn back or you can keep facing. Usually the reason you turn the head is because the body tends to turn where our gaze is. But it's not because we need to improve the mobility in the neck. And exhale, we soften, come to the center, and we're going to come up, inhale, length. And exhale, soften. We're going to go on the other side. So inhale, we lengthen here. Exhale, we soften. This time we step the right foot back. Oops. Inhale, we find the lunge first. Again, we'll be here already, so we don't need to spend more time. Then we soften. We come to the right foot to the front, either we find the knee and we lengthen, or we find the right big toe and we lengthen and extend. Exhale. Inhale. And again, use the breath. And then exhale. From here we want to transition to dancer. So I'm softening the standing leg. And I position my left hand in front of my shoulder. I'm holding my right ankle with my right hand. You know, I lengthen and open into the dancer. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. Spend another breath or two here. exhale, we soften. We take the right foot all the way back. Inhale. And then as we soften, this time is the right knee that is going to go to the outside of the left foot. I'm going to sit down and twist to the left side. So with an inhale. Again, use the breath. Let's exhale, you relax. Inhale, twist open. Bring the twist in the upper body. And exhale, we relax. Come back to the front. And then lift the hips and cross the legs. Inhale, roll up. Exhale. So we're going to flow between the two sides with those two or three asanas. The only thing that we're going to do different, if it works for you, so when we come out of dancer, what we've done now is step back into crescent lunge and then come down into the twist. We're going to go straight into the twist. So from dancer, we're going to just drop down straight into the twist. But if you prefer to continue to step back into the lunge and then come down into the twist, by all means do that. So do what works for you. So we come to the front of the mat. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we soften. Step the left foot back. Inhale, lunge. Soften. Left foot comes to the front. Now find the knee with the big toe. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Exhale, soften. Transition to the dancer. Anukalana. And then exhale. See if we can go straight into the twist from here. Inhale, twist. Exhale, and come back to the front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. The right foot steps back. Inhale, lengthen into the lunge. Exhale. And forward and use the breath. Find the big toe, so this is it. Inhale. Exhale. All the way until you're inhaling and lengthening. And then exhale, you soften to come down into the twist. And then inhale, you twist. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Back with the left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Taking the left foot to the front. Inhale. And the entire body is participating into the flow, into the movement, and is guided by the breath. So I'm almost encouraging you to pay more attention to the breath. And use the breath to guide the movement than the movement in itself. Inhale. We're stepping the right leg back this time. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And to find the balance, it's good to find a point of focus here. Exhale. And the same thing in dancer. exhale. And again, follow your breath, not mine. Like everything else we do here in Anukalana, I encourage you then to go through those sequences again in your own time with your own breath. So we'll do one more either side. Step the left foot back. Inhale. Soften. Left foot. You'll find that the body becomes more and more open. But keep that awareness and intelligence of the body throughout the sequences. And then exhale down. Inhale. And then the right foot steps back. And then the right foot to the front. Inhale. Soften. Inhale, dancer. And then the twist on the left side. Exhale. We come up. Inhale. And bring the hands in prayer pose. And close your eyes. Let the sequence, the movement sink in. And just notice where you have sensations in the body as a consequence of the asanas and the movement and the flow. And if they're pleasant sensations, stay with them and try to maybe extend them elsewhere in the body. And if they're not so pleasant, don't worry, just be with them as well. And then we open our eyes, release the arms down, come back to the front of the mat. And then again, bend the knees, tuck the tail between the legs, make sure the weight is equally distributed between the feet, hands in front of your chest or shoulders. And then inhale, let's open again. Maybe the body start going a little bit deeper. The chest opening a little bit more to the ceiling. And then exhale, bend the knees and really curve, bend down. Find the heels, heel lengthen. Exhale, release, hands in front of the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. And then as you soften, step one foot back. And then the other. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then come down all the way to the floor. We bend the knees. Again, reach back with the hands. Or you can go into upward facing or cobra. And then lift the feet towards the ceiling first. And then inhale, open, lift and open. And then exhale, we release down, release the feet, tuck the toes, and let's go back into child's pose for a second. So release the hips over the heels. And then roll up into all four, tuck the toes, and then come up into downward facing dog. And then lift the left leg up, and this time bend the left knee, open the hip. Exhale, soften, inhale, lengthen and open. Again. And then just let the left foot drop all the way down. We're going to flip the dog. And find again a little the chest opening towards the ceiling. Release the left arm back. So both feet are on the floor. And then exhale, we soften. Left hand comes back to the mat. I'm turning back. The left foot stays up and I'm taking the left knee behind the left wrist. I slide the right leg down. The chest comes down. And then inhale, I roll up into pigeon. I'll spend a couple of breaths here. So try not to drop, only drop the left hip down if your hips stay parallel to the floor. So if I drop mine down, my hips are no longer parallel, so I'm keeping it up. But if you have that opening of the hips, do that. You can drop down. And then exhale, inhale, open more the chest. And then exhale, soften, plant the hands. Tuck the right toes and take the left foot back. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then we're going to go the other side. Inhale, raise the right leg, bend the right knee, open the hip. Exhale, inhale. And then as we soften, we drop the right foot all the way back. We flip the dog. Again, opening the chest to the ceiling. Exhale back. And the right knee goes behind the right ankle. Slide the left foot back, we come down. And then inhale, we roll up. Again, we're focusing on opening the chest. And then exhale, we soften, plant the hands, tuck the left toes, right foot back. So let's flow just once between those two. Soften, raise the left leg up, open the hip, drop it down. Inhale, flip dog. Exhale, back. Left knee behind the left wrist. Inhale, we roll up. Exhale, we soften to go back into the dog. With an inhale, exhale, soften, right leg comes up, bend and open, drop down, inhale, exhale, back into pigeon, right knee behind the right wrist, down and up. Exhale, soften. Lift the left knee, step the right foot back. Inhale, dog. And then drop them down to your knees. Sit back. And inhale, open the chest, close your eyes. If you need to sit on something that's uncomfortable, just do that. If you need to place something between the heels and the hips, just close your eyes here for a second. So we take those pauses to let the breath come back to its normal pace. Let the body absorb the practice. And the reason we keep the breath down is because we're not doing, a sport or exercise or, obviously we're moving the body, but we're not moving it to build stamina or anything like that. We're actually moving it to relax it. That's the intention of yoga. So the body's relaxed and we can eventually reach samadhi, which is the 8th limb of yoga, which is the ultimate state of meditation or transcendence. But in order to do that, the body must be very open and free and relaxed. So if the breath comes back down, with regular pace, and the body also comes down, and the mind also comes down. Okay, so we're going to do something that might be a little intense on the knees and the thighs, in particular the quadriceps. So I'm going to give you some variations. So we're going to work on Supta Virasana, which is basically, I'll show you what it is first, and then you might already know what variations work for you or what not. I use a blanket for under the top of my feet. This mat is quite uncomfortable when I sit down that way, and basically you're going to sit between the heels, and then we're going to just lay it all the way down and be here. So that's the ultimate asana. So you have a number of options. You can take support to support you, but the key thing is that wherever you have that support, it's all the way at the same height, all the way to your back. The other thing that you can do is actually just stay higher. So you can stay here, you can come down here, you can be on your elbows. So you can decide where you want to be. You don't have to go all the way down. And then the third option, another option again, is you do it on one leg at a time. So you extend one leg out, and you sit down, and then again you can be here, here, or you can go all the way down on that one leg. And then you do the other side as well. So choose something that works for you. The most important thing is that the knees are protected, so you don't feel this on the knees. The moment you feel something pulling on the knees, come back up to a less intense level. If you feel it on the thighs, on the quadriceps, if it's just a little bit of pulling and lengthening, that's fine, because that's the intention here is to lengthen this part of the body. But as long as it not becomes too intense and becomes painful, then same thing as the knees come out. But where I don't want you to feel it is on the knees. So with all that preamble, you find a position, something that you know would work for you. And if you decide to be on one leg, I will tell you when to switch to the other leg. So you're going to come down. And you can decide to actually take the arms overhead as well, if you're all the way down, or you can have them down by your side. And again, if you're all the way down, even if you're doing it on one leg, what you can do is place the hands on your hips and take the hips towards the belly. So it's a light pressure. You will feel the top of the thighs lengthening. And maybe the lower back releasing a little bit towards the floor. So if you need to come out at any point, just do that. So if you're on one leg, you can switch to the other leg. And again, always use the breath. Exhale to relax and ease into the asana. And then if you're in a full asana, start coming up. Also if you're not, start coming out. And what I find here, and I don't know if what I find great here is if you're in the full asana, you actually place the top of the fingers on your toes, and then just open into a modified Ustrasana or camel. We're pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, and then exhale, we release, and we come up. We come into a 4. Maybe tuck the toes to reset. Maybe do a few cat and cows, whatever you need to feel that you're resetting back. And then you're going to come up standing. Sorry, not standing, on your knees. With the knees about hip width distance apart. And you're going to play with camel. So if you know that in camel you need the blocks, I'll just have it on one side so you can see there, because I want to show the other way here. So I'm going to start with the hips perpendicular over the knees. So I'm going to show a couple of ways of coming into camel. So the first one actually is similar to what we've been playing when we were standing up in terms of opening the chest. So I start by actually tucking the tail in, and then with an inhale, instead of, this time I'm not taking my arms up, I roll the spine up and I open the chest. Making sure that the pelvis stays perpendicular over the knees or the hips over the knees. And then exhale, I soften back down. So it's like creating a little wave to get in and come back out. So let's play with that once more. The tail is in. And then inhale, I roll open. And then from here, my hands can stay like this, or I can find the block, I can find the heels, or I can tuck the toes and find the heels that way. But I really don't care about finding, the heels. What matters is that the opening. And then exhale back down. Let's sit back on the heels, let the lower back, if you felt it there, settle down, the whole spine settle down. And then I'm going to show you a different way of getting into it, coming into Ustrasana. And then I'm going to play for a few breaths either side, which way works for you best. So when I come back up, this time I'm going to place my hands like this, and my forefingers are going to be on the side here of the chest. My thumbs are going to be behind. And then with the inhale, the action is going to be this. I'm rotating the chest forward and back and up at the same time. So it's this rotation helping the upper chest, the chest come into the opening. So again, I start soft. Inhale, I open this way. Use the hands to help that movement, that opening. And then I can let go. And again, I can find any support that I want or not. Stay focused also, not leaning back, so the hips stay up. A great way of doing this is against the wall, where you keep the hips in contact with the wall. And then exhale, come up and sit down. So we're going to do this once more, and you decide how you want to come into it. Never overstay your welcome in those asanas. Those are quite intense. So you want to come up. And again, either that wave rolling up or the hands by the hips, by the chest. So your own time, just do what works for you. and exhale out. And just sit on your heels for a few breaths. And then open your eyes. Gonna drop the hips down to one side. Extend the legs to the front. And actually bend the knees. We're gonna come play a little bit with bridge pose. So we're gonna lay down on our back. So bring the heels close enough to your buttocks so you can touch the heels with the fingertips. And then start pointing the knees, taking the knees towards the front of the room and lifting the hips off the floor, the pelvis off the floor. Just hang in there for a few breaths. The knees keep going forward. And then with an inhale, start pushing the hips up, opening the chest, interlace the hands, tuck one shoulder, then the other, and push the feet firmly into the floor. So the neck is completely free, so there is no contact here. The cervical spine is completely free. The back of my head is on the floor, the shoulders are on the floor, and the feet are on the floor, and obviously my hands and arms. But I'm pushing with my feet firmly into the floor, opening the chest. So it should be firmly open here. Exhale down. Untuck the shoulders, come all the way down, or just one vertebra at a time. I'm going to come back up in a second. So again, make sure, I'm going to mention this, that the knees always stay hip width distance apart. So they're not opening out or coming back in. So they're always aligned with the hips. So again, check that you can graze the heels with your fingertips. And then start pushing the knees forward, lifting the hips. And then with an inhale, push the floor away with your feet. Interlace the hands, maybe you change the interlace. Inhale, come up. Just opening up. And then exhale down. And then again, roll up, inhale, keep pushing open, exhale down. Now, those of you who want to play with wheel rather than rust, you can do that. So otherwise you can go back into, I need to do it on the floor because otherwise I slip on the mat. So otherwise we can play again a few times with bridge. So if you're coming into wheel, you place the hands in position, the feet are in position, and then with inhale, lift the hips first. So going forward, and then inhale, push up. Exhale down. And we're going to do one more or two more. Whenever you're ready, or you keep playing with bridge pose. Exhale down. We'll do one more. As my teacher Barbara says, wheels is like pancakes. The first one you tread away, the second one is so-so, and hopefully the third one is the one where you can find a lot of opening. Exhale out. And we hold the knees towards the chest, open towards the armpits. So knees against towards the armpits. Release here. And then exhale, release the feet down. And we're actually, well no, let's go. Let's keep the knees, sorry, towards the chest. I was thinking of doing something else, but no. And then from here, I just want to find the final twist. Open the arms out, drop the knees out to the left side, gaze to the right. And then we come back to the center. We go to the other side. And then back to the center. Hug the knees one final time. Maybe you find happy baby. And then release down for your shavasana. Extend the legs, arms down by your side. And just take a few breaths just to observe the effect of the practice on the body. And then just let go completely.
start deepening your breath. Wiggle the toes, the fingers. Bend the knees, clench your feet. Notice which nostril is more open. Roll the body to that side. Allow for the other nostril to open. And then use the hands to help you come up seated, with the eyes closed. Find a comfortable seat. You bring the hands together at the center of the chest with the thumbs touching the midline. Bow your head. And find the breath. Thank you all so much. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed this practice, and as always, if you have any feedback, any requests, any comments, you're always welcome. Hope you stay well, continue to be safe, healthy, and you, your dear ones, and your families. Thank you.